You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.
What's going on, man? This is Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, and welcome to another edition of Coffee with Rhadi. I'm in my car driving, drinking my coffee, headed to a morning appointment here, and I want to talk to you about something that I just experienced. I was so quickly to point it out to someone else, but I did the same thing to myself recently this weekend. I just left a small coffee shop with my daughter Rhadi after we finished training to get a piece of Cuban toast to go along with my coffee. And Rhadi and I sit down and we have some Cuban toast, and after training sometimes. And the restaurant owner said, "I think I'm going to sell my business." I said, "Well, that's what businesses are for, to sell them." He says, "No, I think I'm going to sell them. I think somebody can run it way better than I can." He says, "Nothing that I do seems to work." I said, "Well, have you tried marketing on Instagram and Facebook and things like that?" He says, "No, my wife does stuff like that, but she doesn't have any time. And I've tried everything and it doesn't work." And he just kept going on. I mentioned thing after thing after thing. I talked about understanding that traffic plus conversion equals cash. I talked about putting someone out front to hold the sign. Everything that I talked about, he shot down, and he just kept saying, no matter what I do, nothing seems to work. And he was so negative in his approach that, I understand that, it's not just about having a positive mindset. You need to have systems in place. You need to do a lot of work, and you still need some capital, and you need some money for some things, but nothing's going to happen until you get into the right mindset. If you're not in the right mindset, you're not going to do anything. And I was, sitting there talking to him and trying to coach him up as the best I could, over a cup of coffee and some Cuban toast. But when I was talking to him, I said, damn, I just did the same thing to myself recently. I was telling myself stuff about, business and relationships, and no matter what I do, nothing seems to work. And, I just hurt my knee recently, and I had to get an MRI and waiting for the results. And I'm saying, oh man, I can't do the things I used to do anymore. And I'm getting older, and my knee, and I'm sitting here doing the same thing that I talked to him about. And I'm literally digging a hole for myself and then choosing to jump down in this emotional hole instead of digging a quality foundation for myself through positive self-talk. Just like we say things negatively about ourselves, we can also say, things are working out great for me. Things are moving in the right direction for me, and God is working in my favor. And I know that this time is a little tough right now, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and good things are getting ready to happen for me very soon. My finances are getting ready to increase and improve. My relationships are getting better. I will meet the right people at the right time to help me cross the chasms and the divides that are voids right now. And I really believe that what God has for me is for me, and I get what man, you can speak over your life differently, but it's so much easier to sit there and assess the circumstance that is happening now instead of speaking and projecting towards a future that you want. Man, and I have a problem with this too. I'm not one of these people that are going to get on here on a podcast and tell you, yeah, I got it all figured out. My life is all together. No, I do not have it figured out. Like I let you know on the podcast, I think a few days ago, maybe about a week ago, about relationships post divorce. And I'm not an expert in that space. I'm going through that space, and I can tell you the hurdles and some of the things that I've run into, but I'm not an expert in that space. And I provided no solutions. I just provided a bunch of givens for you to assess your situation and see if you can come up with the best solution for you. But I do know this: while you're assessing the situation, to think about things negatively, it's probably the wrong thing to do. I had a great conversation with a with a um with a person this past weekend whose approach, whose current approach to life is to go through life with her fists balled up, waiting for a fight that is currently not happening because she has been in fights before. That's a tough space to talk to someone or coach them through, because all they know are their previous situations and circumstances. And it's hard to tell them, past behavior or past experiences don't predict future outcomes. They don't. But people say, well, that's all I know. I said, no, that's not all you know. That's all you knew. That's all you knew. You get to determine what you want to know based upon how you speak. But as human beings, what we do is we provide protection mechanisms to protect ourselves from the things that happened to us before. People who get in bad relationships, they protect themselves from anything that looks like the other relationship before, and then they create a correlative linking with one behavior to being a red flag if it matches the behavior of someone else. You can mess around and be dating somebody who brushes their teeth with their right hand. That person may be at your house and you see them brush their teeth with their right hand. You're like, oh, last person I saw brush their teeth with their right hand. It's a red flag. But this is what the brain does in order to protect you. It's just what happens. None of us have been bitten by an alligator before. We have not. However, we have seen enough things where people have been bitten by alligators, and what do? If we see an alligator, we don't get close. Why? Because that's a protection mechanism for us not to get hurt. Now, those people who train alligators and work at the zoo, they're close with alligators all the time. They have a different relationship. They have different experiences. They're around alligators all the time, and they're not getting bitten all the time. But all we know are our experiences that we've seen on TV and stories that we've heard. We don't even know anybody. If you can't even get in your cell phone right now and call anybody who's been bitten by an alligator. Not one. Not one. But you're scared when you see one. Why? Because you have been programmed to do so. And we have to program ourselves to believe that we have power and dominion over the things that happen in our lives based upon what we've been granted by God in terms of what we can speak and what we can say, and the things that we can write down and the petitions that we can make before Him. So as you go through your day and you make your things to do list, your things to do list is a list of things that you want to get done. Those are wishes. Those are wishes that you've written down. Those are things that you want to see realized during the day. Your things to do list, you're basically writing down the vision and making it plain. That's what you're doing. And then you're working on the things that you want to get done on that list. And then at the end of the day, the list is done if you concentrate on the list. And we don't look at a things to do list or the completion of a things to do list as being miraculous. But when you write something down and then by the end of the day it happens, that in and of itself is a miracle. But it's one that has been promised to you in the book. So here's what I have for you today. If you want to feel better, write down how you want to feel. If you want to do better things, write down the things that you want to do. If you want things to come or be ushered into your life, write down those things that you would like to have ushered into your life. And then do the work on that particular things to do list until those things come into fruition. That's what I have for you. I personally have some work to do on some things. I've been out of sorts because I did not create or make my vision board in 2022. I had some great things happen in 2022, but I did not follow a system that I have. That's not really my system. It's the system that's in the book. I didn't follow the system that's in the book. I need to redo my vision board and get that done in the month of February. I need to write these things down and put them on a things to do list and get this done. Because there are some things that I really want. There's some things that I really want to come to fruition. There's some personal goals some family goals, some business goals, and some relationship goals that I would really like to get accomplished on the personal relationship level and on the friendship level. Because personally, I just got to get around and see more of my friends. I did a bad job of that last year. That's just a sidebar. So there's some things that I have to get done, and I need to create the vision board in order to get those things done. I need to write the vision and make it plain. Hopefully, I was able to help you with some things today. You know, when I'm having a cup of coffee, man, and I'm talking to you, I'm just talking to you like we're sitting together having a conversation. I would really appreciate it if you would grab my book, Judo is Life. Go to www.judoislife.net and grab my book, Judo is Life, today. Remember, this is Dr. Ferguson, and I love you, but God loves you best.
You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, 4-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.